So, folks, welcome. And there is Cecil. Hello, Cecil. Unmute yourself and say hi to the people.
Hello, Mark, and hello, everyone else. Happy to be here.
Excellent. So, this session is going to be about the Journal of Solution Focused Practices. And I'm thrilled that Cecil can join us. Cecil is one of the editorial team of the journal. I'm just going to share my screen. And I say we're going to be maximum 30 minutes, ending at 1:30, just talking about where we are with the journal and how we'd like to get you writing for the journal. So let me just share my screen, and there we go. So the journal is now online on a new platform, and some of you will know this, but others of you may not. And you can find out everything about it and see all the contents right back to the beginning at journalsfp.org. That is the most important address in all of this. Journalsfp.org. I will put it in the chat as well. This is where I have to make sure I don't put too many slashes in the journalsfp.org. So if you take one thing away from this session, that's it. Okay, so we're a peer-reviewed journal, and we want to publish material that is both academically sound and practitioner-friendly. And not all academic journals have that stance, but we do. And we're very solution-focused in our practices as well as in our content. And we love working with people to help you to create and build great articles of all kinds to put into the journal. A bit of background about the journal. Founded in 2014 by Michael Durant in Australia as the Journal of Solution Focused Brief Therapy in print only, and published by the Australasian Association of SFBT. That's now ASFA. Then in 2019, Sarah Jordan took over as editor with David Haynes from ASFA organizing sponsorship and support at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And then last year, Sarah resigned and I took over as the editor. And the journal has become a fully independent body with an international board and sponsors. And all the content is fully online at journalsfp.org, right back to the beginning. So some progress in the last 12 months. We've expanded the editorial team to include Anton Stellemans, Cecil Walker, who's here, and Andrea Zach. We've expanded the advisory board. We have a new patron in Professor Gail Miller, who many of you will know was the in-house researcher with Stephen Insu back in the Brief Family Therapy Center. He's now our patron. We've got new language editors and translators in Spanish, Italian, Polish, Romanian, Chinese, and Russian. And we want to continue to publish stuff in as many languages as we can. The whole thing is based on the Scholastica platform, which integrates submission of papers, the peer review process, the typesetting, the revising, the listing on Crossref, the indexing, and the website. And it's a fantastic platform. The independent association that runs the journal has two chairs. One is Adrian Holmes, who chairs the International Sponsorship Board, and Andrew Gibson chairs the operational team. And we have now 8 sponsors, not only ASFA, but we have EBTA sponsoring, SFBTA in the States is sponsoring, the UK Association, SFIO, SF in organizations, and the Swiss, Austrian, and Italian associations all put money in, and they put money in so you don't have to pay to read the journal, and you also don't have to pay to be published in it, which is fantastic. So for all of us, it's free to use, and the team who work to produce the journal are all volunteers. We have new social media channels on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Substack, plus Facebook, and I'll give you the details at the end so you can register to get updates from there. And at the end of last year, we rolled up our full volume, Volume 7, Number 1, which had 17 articles in it, including 2 key reviews of research and other publications about solution-focused work that were not published in the journal, but we think are important. So that's a great way of keeping up to date with what's going on in the world. So we welcome articles of all kinds in relation to SF practice and theory. And there are a few of the things that we welcome: empirical research programs, which papers, which are broadly ones with numbers in, conceptual articles, which are broadly numbers articles without numbers in, although it's not completely like that. We want case studies. We have new guidelines about how to write a case study. It's on the website. We're doing interviews each time, each issue, and I'm just setting up an interview with a Finnish group who established solution-focused practice in Finland some 3 or 4 decades ago and managed to establish it as a key part of the national health program in Finland. We publish opinion pieces. That's a great way in. If you're not particularly academic, you have something you want to say about solution-focused practice, write us an opinion piece. There's some guidelines on the website, and Cecil will be talking about that in just a moment. We're hoping to have classic papers. We haven't got any yet, but we do have research reviews, which are excellent, well worth watching if you want to catch up on the latest research in the solution-focused field. And of course, we have book reviews. I love book reviews. I was the book review editor previously, and it's a great way of getting into a little bit of academic writing. Just write 500 to 1,000 words about a book, and so if you'd like to be a book reviewer, and I think I just saw Lisa Blonde Booth joining, who's one of our review team at the moment, then get in touch. And you see at the bottom there the email address, journalsfp@gmail.com. Okay, so the editorial team: Anton Stellemans looks at conceptual papers. Andrea Zach looks at research. Alex Ashida is our journal manager and manages the bank accounts here in the UK and keeps on top of all the administration and everything. And Cecil Walker, who's with us today, who is particularly leading on opinion pieces, which we're just working up the first couple of those to go. So, and he also is leading on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I just want to have a word about that. And this is about including as many voices as we can in the journal, from work originating in other languages, people who aren't so accustomed to academic writing, and stories of SF practice from around the world. So please do not let lack of academic experience put you off. We want to help you to produce something that can be published in the journal. So I'm just going to stop the share there for now. So Cecil, starting to talk about opinion pieces and DEI there. Please give us your perspective on why you agreed to join the journal editorial team and what you're looking forward to.
Well, to start with, why I agreed to join the team, I have really enjoyed participating with the research world from the other side, working on a few projects, as well as publishing a few papers, and contributing kind of to the ongoing published conversation about SF, which here in the States is often something people turn to as, what's on paper regarding how this approach works, how well it works, what we've seen from it, what it can do, what people think about it. And so that was intriguing enough. And I've continued to enjoy it even more now that I'm on this side of things, getting to read people's opinion papers, and getting to kind of work with them to the publication process. It's great to hear from different corners of the SF world, literally around the globe, but also in terms of where this work is happening, and get to be able to kind of pull in all these nuanced perspectives that have input on what is SF, how does it work, how is it being applied, what's important to keep in mind, where should we be shining more light on things, what should we be doing more of. And this goes beyond your question of why I joined the team, but I think opinion pieces are a good place for people to who might not be as familiar or feel a bit distant from research and from published journals. But that's a good place to get your foot in the door. And I think it also kind of helps us embody this very SF notion of, any expertise is very valuable expertise. And it doesn't have to be that it comes from a PhD or that it comes from people with very specific credentials. You might have a perspective or something to say, an idea, some questions to pose that are very much worth contributing that other people might not be familiar with or have that much closeness to. And so there's probably value in some of the things that you're seeing and thinking and saying. And I think opinion pieces might be a good place for people to show those to the world, to share with everyone else.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so this is an aspect that I'm very keen that we expand, and we open the invitation to anyone who has something to say. Please, get something down on paper and send it in to journalsfp@gmail.com, and we'll have a look. And we very much want to work with people to build that into things that we can publish.
Yeah, I think that's worth highlighting too, is that being on the inside, I can see how we're working with people to get these ideas out there. We're not adversaries or gatekeepers trying to keep thoughts and ideas out. If you have something to say, and maybe you're not even sure how to totally get it out there, make a submission and we'll try to do the work of how do we make this something that can be published, something that can be understood by people.
Absolutely. So Daniela has pointed out in the chat about diversity, inclusion, and equity. It includes people with disabilities. Absolutely, it does in all kinds of settings. Now, Cecil, you are the chair of our DEI committee,
Yes.
and this is something the journal editorial team takes very seriously. Maybe you could say a little bit about that and what you're hoping that we can do to move in that direction.
Yeah, so our committee is still very much in the infant stages, but I think there is a very strong gravity, and I'm happy that Mark, as the editor, have your full support and enthusiasm. There's a very strong gravity to all kinds of accessibility, which, like that comment alluded to, does include any type of disabilities or any form of identity or categorization that people might find themselves in. Because I think that has been an ongoing dilemma with publications and journals, is that it feels like it belongs in an ivory tower or belongs to a certain group of people. Those are certain people that can contribute to it and certain people that can benefit from it, can read it and consume it. And so I think that the main goal for our committee is not just to get different faces in the room, but also make this accessible to lots of different people. This shouldn't just be something that researchers and students are leaning on or participating in, but practitioners, people who maybe work in education, even all different areas. And some of the ideas that we're kind of tossing around and hoping to work towards should hopefully make that more accessible. I dumped a ton of ideas on Mark in one of our meetings, and I'm still very much excited and enthusiastic about some of those, like trying to see if there's a way to, instead of just strictly research papers, maybe like Mark mentioned, interviews that give perspective into how people are working and where they're working, what they're doing. Maybe even other media forms instead of written word. Maybe it's video or audio. Some of these things that can make this information, this publication, a bit more accessible for people across all different kinds of identities and all different kinds of groups of people. I don't think it should belong in any way to people who are older, people who are more Western, people who are, neurotypical or of what we would expect from able-bodied people. Any of those things, I think, shouldn't be there shouldn't be this spotlight effect on some areas over others. And so that's the main goal of the committee. And hopefully we can start to see that kind of like trickle throughout the journal, and it can feel like a journal that, as it should be, is something that's for all of us. It belongs to the SF world, kind of like this conference. I think in the same vein, it doesn't really live anywhere or belong to anyone. It belongs to everyone.
Thank you, Cecil. Danielle has built on her previous thing in the chat, saying, how can I include expressive arts into SF as it aligns with diversity, inclusion, and equity?
That's a brilliant question. If you mean specifically with the journal, how you might be able to make a contribution, that'd be something I'd be willing to hear more about, because maybe there's a way you can provide a demonstration in the form of, this is, an opinion piece, but it's a demonstration of what opinion, what perspective you might have on the expressive arts working with SF.
I write for occasionally for a very unconventional journal called Unpsychology, which you can find by Googling it, and it's a marvelous thing. And they include a whole bunch of stuff like artwork, poems, different pieces of writing. I write occasional short stories of speculative fiction for them, which is a kind of interesting way into some of these ideas. And it's free to read online, and the editors are based here in Edinburgh. Julia McIntosh, the editor, is based here in Edinburgh, and I have a coffee with her every now and again. So there are ways of doing these things, opening up, and people, and we have the opportunity to take a broad stance on this, because we are not in cahoots with universities or people like that. You know, the journal is being supported by all these SF associations around the world, and as long as we keep them on board, there seems no reason why we can't carry on, you know, for a good amount of time. And the SF people are in general, I think, open and want to hear different voices and give opportunities to different people and different groups. So I'm optimistic about how we can do that. But it all starts with you folks putting pen or brush to paper or whatever it is and thinking about something you'd like to do, because we do need to have something to start with. Now, it might only be a sketch or a thought or an idea that our editorial team can help you to develop. But that's the first step. Without you folks, we can't do nothing, as I believe you say over there. So please think about what you'd like to write and what you'd like to contribute, and do read it as well. So just I'm going to put some stuff in the chat here. These are links to ways you can get up to date with output from the journal. Now, the website of the journal unfortunately doesn't have a facility for you to get updates directly from it, but we have started a Substack account for the journal, which is brilliant. And it's the second link in that list I just put in the chat: journal solution focused prac.substack.com. And there you can sign up completely free, and you'll just be pinged a notification every time something new comes out on the journal. And you have complete control. You can unsubscribe anytime. It's totally free. And I recommend highly, if you're interested in the journal, sign up for that. And that way you will get a notification when something new comes out, which it does every few weeks at least. Because one of the advantages of this new platform is we can publish on a rolling basis. So things appear, you know, quite frequently. And then, say, every 6 months, we can roll it into an issue. I'm hoping in June to declare volume 8, issue 1 complete, and it'll have whatever it has in it, and then we'll move on to volume 8, issue 2. But stuff appears as we go. So that's another good thing for this new platform. There's much more activity, and the way to keep up to date with it is to sign up for the Substack for updates, or I'd say this is as well, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Facebook, or follow us on Instagram. You can, we publish stuff there, we put stuff there, notifications when new material comes out. So all the addresses for that are now in the chat. Please sign up to at least one, several, I'd say several, because that way we get more conversations. And also I publish a monthly update blog, and I tend to post those to the various email lists, the SFT list and the Soul World list as well, to try and help you stay up to date with the work that's going on. So that is about the journal. Opportunity now for questions, thoughts, comments, or whatever people would like to voice. So there's a question in the chat, wondering if there'd be interest on using hopeful lens of SF towards healing of survivors from the violence against gender diverse community. I'm not familiar with that community instantly, but yes, of course. SF lens on almost anything we're interested in. So yes, sure. Thank you, Jalian. Other questions, thoughts, ideas, things people would like to ask or say? I noticed that Anton Stellman's, one of our other editors, is also in the room. Anton, do you want to just say hi quickly and to this lovely group and give a moment on your conceptual articles?
Hi everybody. Yes, I'm also on the board responsible for the conceptual articles. Any article that you want to write or develop which has a more philosophical twist or exploration of thoughts and theories behind or associated with solution focus are very much welcome. And we can help you in writing up your ideas and producing it into a beautiful solution-focused article. The peer review process is a very gentle one. We also use the SF principles there, don't we?
We do.
And we do. And also maybe an invitation if you want to contribute as a peer reviewer of any of these articles, whether it be a conceptual article or a research article or anything else, please do step forward. It can also always be interesting for us to have new voices to interact and to help us publish these articles. Cheers.
Thank you, Anton. And as usual, I've mistyped the email address there. Never mind. Yeah, journalsfp@gmail.com is the way to get in touch with us. The editors, me, Anton, Cecil, and Andrea Zach, we're all around and fairly easy to track down in the world. Okay, what else for now? Okay, well, I think we're coming to the end of this particular session. Thank you very much indeed for staying with us and showing up, and thank you particularly to Cecil and to Anton for joining us today. And we'll look forward to hearing from you about ideas for papers, with submissions, about potentially being opinion pieces, book reviewers. We can only publish what you write, people. So please, please, this is a great opportunity to get yourself into print or to build your research. And yes, thank you, Catty. This is my 15th hour of SF24 at the moment. I started off in Australia this morning. It's great though. Seeing so many old friends and new friends across the screen is it's been such a great day. I love SF24 Day. So, and thank you to the organizers. It's been great.